Greetings viewers, back with another quick tip for you. Some of you have actually asked me about this from time to time, and that's when you really can't get a drum off of a hub, or even sometimes rotors also have this problem, and this is also a solution for rotors that won't come off as well. What you can do, well, you have one of two methods really. The first method is whacking the thing with a hammer. Now, this is pretty much the tried and true method, and what it does is it pretty much knocks the drum off the hub, and usually it's away you go. But it can be risky in that if you tag one of the studs as you're hitting it, you will hear the sucking sound off in the distance, and that sucking sound is your life, because then you either have to chase the threads on the stud or you have to replace it. But here's just a quick little way to do this without doing any real damage. And what you need is a couple of bolts. I mean two. And these two things will thread into those threaded holes in the outside of the drum and force the drum off of the hub. So why don't we demonstrate that process? Oh, and you're like, hey Eric, what size are those? They are 8 by 125. Use is pretty simple. You just take the bolt, thread it into the hole, I'm using an impact gun, but you don't need to. And then tighten them up. Remove the drum and voila! Alright, so the next time you have a rotor or drum that's having a heck of a time coming off, you're afraid to hit it with a hammer, 8 by 125. I hope you've enjoyed this little quick tip from Eric the Car Guy. You can always visit me at ericthecarguy.com and leave a text or video response below. As always, stay dirty. See ya. Eric the Car Guy here for another quick tip. This one is a response to a question from ReadyMade777. Awesome video artist. Anyway, to answer your question about how do you know when to replace those drums, well, this is how you know. Okay, now what you'll see here is this big ridge that was cut into the drum itself. And this was caused because the brake shoes got worn down to a point where they were contacting the rivets. These rivets are metal, and what that did is that ate into this and cut this groove that you can see here. Now, if you noticed on the outside of the drum in the other video, you've got these measurements. Maximum diameter 7.929 inches, 201.4 millimeters. Now what that is the maximum amount of metal that can be taken out from the inside of this drum. So in other words, that is the inside diameter here. And if what you're going to cut off, which like this ridge here, if what you're going to remove from the inside of this is greater than that number, then the drum needs to be discarded. So to answer your question, that is how you know whether or not you need new drums or if you just need to machine them. But you want to try to avoid this, because this was more expensive than just replacing these. I hope this information was useful to you. You can visit me at ericthecarguy.com and stay dirty. See ya. Hello and welcome to another quick tip on Eric the Car Guy. I received a text response from a very astute viewer, Big Block Mustang, about my last video that this video is going to be posted to as a response to, about torquing the wheels after you get done doing a brake rotor service or replacement. And this is key actually to that whole process, and I'm glad I'm making this video. What this is a torque wrench. This is a clicker style torque wrench. There are other styles. There is a beam style. There's also a digital version of these. What you see here are increments of torque that this wrench can measure. Now, you use this in order to make sure that the proper torque is placed on the wheels whenever you reinstall the wheels after doing a brake job. If not, if the torque is too much or uneven, what can possibly happen is that brake rotor will find itself warping again. Let me show you something real quick. Now, most shops and places reinstall the wheels with an impact gun, and some of these, especially with some of the pressure that's involved, is quite great. So just using this and putting the wheel back on may cause extreme torque, which could in turn cause you brake vibrations in the future. For years I used one of these, and these come in different sizes and different ratings, but this is called a torque stick, and what this does is mounts to the end of the impact gun and makes it so that when you use this on the wheel that it will only torque it so far. And torque is a measure of twisting force, and it's measured in pound-feet or newton meters depending upon what part of the world you're in. I'm going to demonstrate real quick. Now, the way this works is you run the fasteners on the wheel down to the point where they're snug but not completely tight. Then I've already set up my torque wrench for 80 foot-pounds, and I've done that because I know in this particular vehicle that's the specified torque that it's supposed to have. After that, it's actually relatively simple. You just go around the wheel in the star pattern and make sure that the wheel, in this case, clicks at 80 foot-pounds. I'd like to give a special thanks to Big Block Mustang for bringing this up. You can always leave a text or video response to these videos that I make with your own questions, and you can also visit me at ericthecarguy.com. Stay dirty.